So I have not been this genuinely excited about a YouTube channel that I discovered since, I don't know when. I don't know when I could say I was this excited the last time, because I just discovered that failed politician Mike Huckabee, who spawned the ghoul that is Sarah Huckabee Sanders, Trump's press secretary, he has his own YouTube channel. Now, it seems as if it's not getting much traction yet because he's still hiding his subscriber count, which is what people do when they are starting out and they're embarrassed that what they're saying isn't gaining much traction. But nonetheless, he has a YouTube channel that is filled with videos, and it is a cringe goldmine. And I haven't seen anything like this in so long, and I'm incredibly excited because he's trying to kick off what I'm assuming it's a comedy career. He's a failure in politics. He hasn't been the governor now of Arkansas now for how long? He failed as a presidential candidate multiple times. So what's he doing now? He's getting into comedy. Comedy that is akin to something we'd see on Comedy Central, like Stephen Colbert or The Daily Show. And it is just watch it.
From the pages of my website, MikeHuckabee.com, I bring you a crazy observation. Professor Glenn Reynolds of Instapundit likes to say that all the Democrats had to do to regain power was not to act crazy, and they can't even do that. That may be the understatement of the year. Democrats regained the majority in the House last week on promises to lower health care costs, rebuild infrastructure, and return civility to politics. But in just their first 4 days, they managed to set a new land speed record for careening from reasonable impersonation of a rational human being to full-on bat poop loonies. Now, by this time next Thursday, I half expect them to be climbing to the top of the Capitol Dome while screaming gibberish and waving flaming torches. Here's just a little recap of their version of MAGA, Make America Groan Again. I said, make America groan again. Now, within the first couple of hours, Democrats filed articles of impeachment against the president with no grounds. They moved to abolish the Electoral College, and they put out notices that they would be hiring lots and lots of lawyers for investigations of President Trump, as well as his businesses, family members, friends, acquaintances, chambermaids, dogs, cats, and chia pets. Then Representative Rashida Tlaib stood in front of a crowd and said she was quoting what she told her young son when she declared that they were going to impeach the bleeping bleep, using possibly the most vile profanity our language offers. Nancy Pelosi refused to criticize her. Now, I'm so old, I can remember when Nancy Pelosi said that if only the Democrats won, would civility return to politics. But that was a few forgotten months ago. So, of course, any discussion of wackadoodle Democratic antics is not complete without Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She hadn't held her first job in politics for more than 48 hours before calling for a radical Green New Deal, as well as some other massive programs that would vastly bloat the government, crush individual freedom, blow tens of trillions of dollars, and remake America into a socialist utopia. She still tends to bristle when anyone brings up the fact and math-challenged aspects of her statements, but I'm happy to report that at least she's now moved beyond saying that, well, we'll just pay for it. And now she's being honest enough to admit that she wants to raise what she called the tippy-top income tax rate to 70%. That's right, 70%. But smart liberals know that's not going to get her social utopia paid for. New York Times columnist Paul Krugman is calling for a top tax bracket of 80%. But before you could hire an auctioneer, former Obama HUD Secretary Julián Castro called for a 90% top tax rate. I ain't making this up. Folks, God only requires I give 10%. Liberals demand that I only get to keep 10%. I'm just glad they're not God, even if they think they are.
That was amazing. I kid you not, when the camera panned to all of the old people in his audience, like the 85-plus-year-olds in his audience, I laughed for a good 5 minutes, nonstop, like laughing as hard as humanly possible with tears streaming down my face. This is amazing. So in a nutshell, his routine is this. I'm going to try it. Democrats are so stupid, guys. Aren't Democrats stupid? He also called them he called them, quote, full-on bat That's this is going to be a fun segment. He called them, quote, full-on bat poop loonies. Watch your language there, buddy. Come on, Mike. What are you doing?
Bat poop loonies.
Got him!
And I love how he'll say something, like he'll get to the punchline, and then he'll be like, but nobody takes the cue from him that, oh, this is when we're supposed to laugh. So I really like the full-on bat poop loonies, which is ironic coming from an evangelical, but the best punchline in that whole clip, in my opinion, was his "Make America Grown Again" comment when the audience didn't get the hint that, oh, this is the punchline, so he had to repeat the joke. Oh, it's the cringe is so strong that you get this physical, visceral response to that. I felt bad for him. I think that this is officially the new please clap moment.
I said, make America grown again.
Please clap.
So, of course, if you're going to talk about the craziness of Democrats, you're going to bring up AOC because she is the target for Fox News. And I think that a recent Onion article really characterized their obsession with her best in saying that they're launching a 24-hour news network with nonstop coverage of AOC. I think that's great. So, of course, Mike Huckabee had to join in on the fun there, and he took shots at AOC, and he talked about her policies costing so much that it would explode the deficit. Which is funny to me because apparently he's not old enough to remember back in 2017 when Republicans exploded the deficit with tax cuts for the rich themselves. But I mean, I guess he's pretending that Republicans still care about the deficit. He also goes through all of the different marginal tax rate proposals, and when 90% came up, he had to add the caveat that he's not making this up, guys. He's being totally serious, everyone. This is real. Somebody proposed a 90% marginal tax rate, but apparently Mike Huckabee also isn't old enough to remember the time when, under the Eisenhower administration, the top marginal tax rate was 91%. But yet, this dipshit is going to imply that AOC doesn't know the facts when he doesn't know that during his lifetime, tax rates exceeded 90%. But he has to assure you that this is serious, guys. Somebody actually proposed 90%. Aren't they crazy? No, they're reasonable, Mike Huckabee. And don't try to pretend like you care about facts with your opening, Facts of the Matter. I think that's the name of a show. You're an evangelical, bitch. You made a career off of not being factual and pretending that everything that happened in the Bible, including talking snakes, is factual. It's historical. So you don't get to pretend as if you care about facts, and you certainly don't get to pretend as if you or other Republicans care about the deficit if you supported Donald Trump's tax cuts for the rich. But I want to get to my second favorite part here, where he says, quote, God says I only have to give 10%, but liberals say I only get to keep 10%. Damn. That was absolutely savage. I can see the headlines now. Mike Huckabee destroys liberals with facts and logic. What a fucking doofus Mike Huckabee is. And I can't end this segment without sharing a tweet from MAGA Chud Paul Joseph Watson, who infamously tweeted this out. The right is starting to get better at comedy, and it's making lefties nervous. Yeah.
Girly Mike Fettuccine needs your support on Patreon. What a loser. Visit patreon.com/Humanist Report to support the low ratings Humanist Report. Sad. My views are much higher.